He said, "I thought cockroaches in food were part of your culture," and laughed. But Farhad would not tolerate this, stood up and approached Christian, who was scared by this, and sharply, "You ever watch a moment and feel that something's about to change? Like the energy shifts in the room, and for once the guy everyone laughs at doesn't flinch." I saw it happen once, and let me tell you, it was unforgettable. The story starts in a college cafeteria, one of those clean, polished ones with expensive lighting, salad bars, and minimalist chairs that probably cost more than your monthly rent. You know the kind. The kind of place where a school pretends everyone's equal, unless, of course, you don't come from money. The school I'm talking about positioned itself as elite, selective, merit-based, as the brochures proudly claimed. But everyone knew, if your parents couldn't write donation checks with 5 zeros, you were climbing uphill. All day, every day. That's where Farhad comes in. He was 21, tall, solid build, quiet voice, eyes that didn't shift when things got loud. He was the kind of guy who wore the same black hoodie 3 times a week, not because he didn't care, but because he was focused on things that actually mattered. Farhad came from a working-class family. No trust fund. No spring break in Tuscany. His father drove buses back in Atlanta. His mother cleaned hotel rooms. He got into that college because of one thing: grit. The kind of determination most of those rich kids had never even tasted. And that's why they didn't like him. Especially Christian. Christian was everything Farhad wasn't. Blonde, loud, legacy student. Lived in the frat house with the rooftop grill and matching Land Rovers in the driveway. Always smiling, always laughing, especially when the joke was at someone else's expense. He'd taken a particular interest in mocking Farhad, made it a kind of sport. Snide comments in lectures, fake politeness at lunch, the usual privileged drunk nonsense. But one day, he crossed a line. It was a Thursday afternoon. The cafeteria was packed. Farhad got his tray, took a seat alone near the far window. His usual routine. He opened his book, took a bite, and then stopped. I wasn't far, maybe 2 tables down. I saw the pause, the shift in his body, that stillness that comes right before something breaks. He stared at his food. There, right on top of his rice, was a roach. Brown, curled, dead. He didn't scream, didn't throw the plate. He just looked up, and there was Christian, smirking across the room, surrounded by his usual pack of hyenas. Someone was filming. Someone else was already laughing. Christian shouted, "What's wrong, bro? Not enough protein in that meal plan?" The table erupted. And Farhad? He didn't move. Not at first. He stared at Christian. Not with rage. Not even disgust. With clarity. Like he was filing the moment away in his mind. Then he stood up, took his tray, walked across the cafeteria. The room started to quiet, just a little, like people could sense that this wasn't going to go the way Christian thought. Farhad reached Christian's table, set the tray down slowly, roach and all. Then he looked him in the eye and said, calm, steady, "Tell me what part of that was funny." Christian laughed, but it was nervous now. He was still playing to his audience. "Dude, chill. It was just a joke." Farhad didn't smile. "Then let's talk," he said. "Somewhere private. Just you and me." Christian blinked. "What? Like where?" Farhad turned his head slightly. "Bathroom, end of the hall." Someone let out an "ooh" like it was a rap battle. Christian looked around, then back at Farhad. You could see him calculating. He couldn't back down in front of his boys, not without looking weak. But he didn't want to go either, because suddenly the moment wasn't funny anymore. Still, he forced a grin. "Sure," he said. "Let's talk." And they walked out together. The video of that moment didn't go viral, because no one was brave enough to follow. But I did. I didn't film, didn't say anything. I just followed a few steps behind, just close enough to see what happened next. What I saw in that bathroom. That changed the way people talked about Farhad forever. The bathroom was empty when we stepped in. Cold tiles. That faint echo of dripping water. No crowd. No audience. Just two people. And the silence between them. Farhad walked to the end of the row of sinks and stood there, arms relaxed at his sides. He didn't turn around. Just waited. Christian hovered near the door. His confidence, the one that swaggered through the cafeteria like a marching band, didn't make it into this room. He looked smaller without his boys, flatter, like the brand name on his hoodie couldn't protect him now. Farhad finally spoke, calm, steady. "I don't care about what people like you think of me." Christian scoffed, but his voice cracked a little. "Man, I said it was a joke. You didn't just embarrass me," Farhad said, finally turning to face him. "You disrespected me, my family, my name, my dignity." Christian started to speak again, but Farhad didn't let him. "I eat alone because I have goals. I wear the same hoodie because I'm paying for my tuition by myself. I've never asked anyone for a thing. And still, you thought you could humiliate me like I was beneath you." Christian's arms dropped slightly. "Look, I didn't mean to." "You meant exactly what you did," Farhad interrupted. "You put a roach in my food. You watched me sit down. You waited. You wanted the reaction, the laughs. You made me a joke to people who don't even know my name." Now Christian's breath was shallow. He shifted from foot to foot. "Look, man, I didn't mean for it to go that far." Farhad took one slow step forward. Not aggressive, just present, grounded. "Say that again, but this time look me in the eye." Christian hesitated. Farhad didn't. "Say it." Christian looked up. His lips parted, but no sound came out. And then, he did something no one expected. He backed up, too fast, tripped slightly on his own shoes, and caught himself on the stall divider. There it was. No punch, no shouting, no bravado. Just fear. A truth laid bare. Christian didn't believe he was powerful without an audience, without a screen, without the laugh track. And that made all the difference. Farhad didn't touch him, didn't threaten him. He just stood there, watching. After a moment he said, "If you ever do anything like that again, to anyone, you won't be embarrassed. You'll be exposed. Because I'll make sure the people who actually have power in this place hear everything. And this time there won't be a camera to edit the story in your favor." Then Farhad walked past him. Didn't shove, didn't bump shoulders, just walked. I followed him out. I'll never forget the way he looked. Unbothered. Solid. Like a man who didn't win anything in that bathroom. Because he hadn't needed to. He already was everything Christian pretended to be. What happened next? Well, you know how word gets around a campus. Stories warp, embellish. But this one? It got simpler. People said, Christian looked scared. Farhad didn't even raise his voice. He just stood there, and the guy folded. Suddenly, the joke wasn't funny anymore. Christian started skipping meals in the cafeteria. When he did show up, he sat with different people, quieter ones. His friends stopped pushing the Farhad jokes. The momentum was gone. The laughter dried up. Because once the person you mock looks you in the eye and doesn't flinch, you're never quite as funny again. But Farhad? He didn't rub it in. He just went back to his table, back to his books, back to that same hoodie and his quiet routines. Only difference. People noticed him now, not with pity, not with spectacle, with respect. Professors knew his name. Students started sitting closer. One girl from his stats class said, "I always wondered why you sat alone." He smiled. "I like thinking space." And me? I made a point to say hi every time I saw him, because that moment in the bathroom, that taught me something too. That real power doesn't always yell. It doesn't throw punches or chase claps. Sometimes it's just standing tall, calling someone's bluff, and walking away without needing to win because you already know who you are. Farhad reminded the rest of us that strength isn't about intimidation. It's about presence, integrity, that deep kind of confidence that doesn't perform. It just is. And Christian? He'll never forget the way that silence hit him harder than any punch ever could.